So you've been trying to build an online business and thought about doing coaching or consulting. Maybe you already have an idea of who you want to help, but now you're thinking, how do I get my first paying client? Do I post content? Do I reach out to people? And if yes, what do I tell them? I was in the same exact situation around 6 months ago, and since then I managed to get my first couple of clients within weeks of launching my offer in two completely different niches. I realized that it was so much easier than I thought, and that once you understand how the process of selling online works, you can literally apply it to any niche. So in this video, I'm going to share step by step how I managed to get my first $1,000 online so that you can implement it in your own business and start making money from your skills or passions. It all started a couple of years ago when I was working on cruise ships as a musician, and even though that was an amazing job, I wanted more freedom. I didn't want to have to be on cruise ships. I didn't want someone to tell me how to work, when to work, to be tied to a specific job forever. And I knew that if I came back on land, my options would be very, very limited because I don't have any certifications, I don't have any experience in anything apart from music, and I realized I didn't want to do that anymore, at least for a job. And so I realized that my only option was entrepreneurship. I also really wanted to have an impact in the world, to help other people realize that if they didn't listen to their own mind, they could actually reach their wildest dreams. And so I started by doing it myself. And 10 months ago, I decided to stop working on ships. I was like, I'm never gonna go back. It doesn't matter if I don't have a job, if I have no plan B, I'm just going to build a business from scratch. I'm gonna take one of my skills, expertise in something, turn it into an offer and sell it. But obviously it didn't really go as I expected. It ended up being so much harder because I had no experience in business. I had no contacts that could help me figure out how to put an offer together, how to sell online. And I was just, Googling things. I also invested in different mentorships, to help me. But every single time I felt so overwhelmed, and I never really managed to actually sell until a couple of months ago. And so now with the experience that I have that I didn't have back then, I realized what was missing. I didn't have any clear offer. I didn't have any way to attract and convert leads on a consistent basis. And I think my expectations were completely off track. I really believed that clients would come my way and that posting on social media was enough. I also spent way longer on things that I didn't need to spend time on, like for example, building a website, which took me like 2 months and was just very useless. And I know that it's just so many of us who actually have this vision of building a business or of starting to make money online from home, being able to travel and all of that. But I think most people don't get there because they don't realize how simple things are, and they get so overwhelmed with everything that there is online, and they don't have a clear process to actually attract the right people, convert the right people by having the right offer and by having a process that works and then delivering value. And so after all this trial and error, I figured out that actually there are only 3 things that you need in order to succeed, to start making money online and to learn as you go. Because obviously, like, the first offer that you're gonna make, you don't have to sell it for $2,000. It can be $100. Actually, my first offer was $100. And once you start making money, you realize that you don't really need an employer anymore. You don't really need to work in the system anymore, that you can create your own system, and that's the beauty of it. So the first thing that is really important that you realize that you need to have right now if you want to start making money online as soon as possible is a clear offer. As I said, there are so many people who just post and hope that people will get to them and ask them, how can I work with you? That's not how it works. If you're not super specific about the offer that you have, then, how are you going to sell? How are you going to make money online? And when I say a very clear offer, this is what I mean. I mean having a specific outcome that you're going to get people to. Like, for example, if you're a fitness guy, like, you're not going to say to people, hey, I'll help you get fit. You're going to tell people, I'm going to help you lose 10 pounds in 3 months or whatever it is, right? For me, my offer is that I'm helping you get your first paying client. This is how specific we want to be. Then it's very important to have a time frame. You don't want just to say, hey, I'm just going to help you. You want to say, I'm going to help you get this specific outcome within the next 2 months or 3 months. It pretty much comes down to only focusing on one thing. Like, most of us, we just want to help everyone feel happy. We just want to help everyone in the world, and we don't want to niche down, but if you focus on just helping one person with one problem, this is when you can get an offer that actually sells, because once you share it with people, they actually feel like you're talking to them and that you created the offer for them and that you know exactly what you're talking about, because you are. Right? So that's the first thing, having a very clear offer and knowing your offer as well, so that you're ready to present it to the person that you have in front of you when it's the right person. The second thing that you need in order to start making money online right now is a strong guarantee, especially if you're new in what you're doing. You know, even if you have years of experience as a psychologist or, you know, as a doctor or whatever, if you're new to coaching, if you're new to doing this offer, it's so important that you give a strong guarantee. And so my first client, I said to him, well, if you don't get your first paying client within 2 months, I'm going to refund you the whole amount that you paid me, because I'm willing to take the risk. I cannot guarantee that he'll get there because I have never done it with someone before. Yes, I've done it with myself, but I haven't done it with someone else before. And so by giving the risk reversal, you are helping this other person to say yes to your offer because they literally have nothing to lose. The other thing is to make sure that you're charging very low. As I said earlier, my first client, I charged him $100 for 1 month. So that was $200 for my 2 months program. And that was lowest. You know, from the second client, it was $250 per month. But by charging super low, you're also giving yourself a chance to over deliver. It's going to be so much easier to get your customers to be happy and also to practice your process with them. And the third thing that you need in order to get your first paying client is to actually have a system that allows you to reach out to the right people consistently. You know, it's a lot of outreach. It's a lot of work to actually, you know, go out, talk to people and get them, you know, on DMs, get them on calls. There are so many skills involved to that, but it doesn't have to be hard. Like if you're reaching out to, let's say 5 people a day, 5 days a week, which should not take you more than 30 minutes a day, then it's almost impossible that you're not going to, you know, get one person on a call per month. So if it's 5 per day for 5 days a week, that's going to be 25. And so 25 times 4 is 100. If you reach out to 100 people every month, maybe there are going to be 10 or 20 that will, you know, respond, and maybe only 5 of them will get on a call. And out of these 5, maybe you're going to close 1. And this is how you're going to get your first paying client. This is how I got mine. And when I started in this niche, I didn't really have much experience. I had gotten my first clients in a different niche, but I didn't have experience helping others do this. But just because I reached out to enough people, I gave a strong guarantee, I had a clear offer, then I was able to close my first client within not even 2 weeks of creating my offer. And so if I could do it, so can you. See, I'm going through a big identity change right now because I used to be the person who couldn't make money online, and now I'm starting to get clients regularly. And it feels so weird to my system because I used to panic so much. I used to be the one who tries and fails every time, and now I'm finally succeeding. And I'm sharing this because I feel like most people, they don't succeed to make money online because they're not willing to do the boring work, because it is boring to reach out to people without knowing if they'll reply to you. It is uncomfortable to, you know, create an offer and actually talk about it as if you were already experienced, because at the end of the day, people buy confidence, they buy conviction, you know, they buy how much you believe in yourself and in your own thing before believing your program. When you actually do the actions every single day, you know, just reaching out to people, having your offer and putting it in front of, you know, people's eyes every day, you know, you become that person. I became the person who got their first client way before I got my first client, because I was doing the actions that led me towards this. So this is really important, and I think anyone can do this. Like if you have a phone, you can do this. You can reach out to people on social media. I love the platform Skool, and on there, this is how I got my clients on there. I think it's amazing. By the way, I have a community which is called Aligned Creators, and if you also have this willingness to build a business that truly feels like you, that will allow you to have the impact in the world that you truly want to have, but that you're not sure about the business side of things, how to actually start getting clients and get the engine going, this is exactly what Aligned Creators is for, and it's free to join. So feel free to click the link in the description, and I'd love to see you there. And if you're like, oh, but I don't have a big audience, I'm never going to be able to make money online, just watch this video here, because I literally explain why you don't need a big audience to make money online. In fact, I didn't. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Feel free to let me know in the comments that you did watch until the end, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.